In just under 20 minutes, we'll be interviewing Nez, the mod god. I look up to him. Okay, he's big in the Melee community, much bigger streamer than I, and super homie of me. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck it up. I would never fuck it up. For the interview, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really gonna be reading chat much. I'm already like nervous. I have a Google Doc here with all the questions that I already plan to ask him. Is he watching my stream? That makes me nervous. That's nerve-wracking. Tell me he's not.
I'm not watching it.
Oh, that's a goddamn lie. He said he wasn't watching it. If you guys have any questions you want me to ask, let me know right now. Because in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm ready, and then we're gonna go live. I'm out, Joobs, because we're camping in my garden. I'll catch you later. Thank you for having. Thank you. Mr. Mod God, are you with us?
I'm with you. What is good, my man?
Oh, what's going on? Thank you for coming on.
Of course, dog. Pleasure.
Oh, I get caught in my words sometimes, so I have this all written out in a Google Doc, so I don't stumble over myself.
Don't even trip, dog. Don't even trip.
So,
I'm here with you.
Are you gonna be working on controllers, or are you just gonna be vibing in the background?
To be honest, I'm gonna be vibing. I have to work on Johnny's controller, but I'll just do it after, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
trying to hit
listen,
like a 12-hour stream.
Absolutely,
so...
do your thing. There's no need to stop what you're doing to do this. You can
honestly,
you could talk to your chat. You can do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I'll probably just make a controller while we're talking. Honestly, that sounds kind of sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
First off, I just want to thank you for coming on today and showing me some love. I know you're busy working on controllers. So I have this planning on running just like an hour or so, maybe a little less than an hour.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Don't wanna suck up so much of your time, but you can start off by telling the lovely people at home where we can find you. Drop a plug real quick, and in your own words, can you just tell us what you're known for in the Melee scene?
Bro, let's do it. So what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Nez, and I am very big in the Melee community. What I do is I modify Genki controllers, and I love it. It's everything that I do. I'm live every single day on Twitch, and I make Genki controllers for all of the top players in Smash, you know, and it's just not Melee, it's Ultimate too, it's all the top players, and I've taken a huge interest into making controllers for about the past 4 years, and so in the past 4 years, I've basically just done as much work as I possibly can to document GameCube controllers, make sure that we're making them the best that they possibly can, and dude, GameCube controllers are so sick, like I love them. Everybody's played on a GameCube controller before at least once in their life. Like the Nintendo GameCube is one of the most infamous consoles in the history of consoles.
Sure.
So it's something that I love to do, and I am partnered. I have 3.5k subs on Twitch.
Flex.
And yeah, and it's amazing to know that like 4 years ago, actually it's been almost 3 years since I started streaming, to think that, you know, a little interest in me taking apart my GameCube controllers has shaped up to be my career here on Twitch, and just in general has been absolutely humbling. It's been an insane journey. You know, just in the past 30 days, we fit in 304 hours onto this website, and I'm humbled to know that I have an amazing community, an amazing group of people here to support what I do and to support the community, because at the end of the day, what I do, it's all a community effort, and I love it.
I do have some of those written down. I'm gonna touch back upon some of the things that you mentioned later in the interview. So for the basics of the controllers, why do we need modding controllers, and how do you know if you need one?
Okay, so like that's the thing that like everybody always asks me. At least every time that I stream, I get minimum one person asking, how do I know if my controller is good? Why do we need this? At the end of the day, bro, let's be honest. Nintendo GameCube controllers need work. They're so bad, dude. Like there's so many problems with them. Basically to start, there are electrical problems. GameCube controllers are pulled incorrectly from the base. If everybody, okay, so like, let me go ahead and start it like this. If you get a new controller, there's always going to be a problem with it, no matter what, okay? If you take one controller that's new out of the box, always going to have a problem, no matter what. Literally, no matter what you do, it's always going to have a problem. And the baseline problem is called snapback. So if you try to like, if you flick your control stick, just like flick it, right? It's always going to pull way more than what it should, okay? But if you use that same controller for like a year, okay, that might just go away, and it's extremely strange. And this is something that we label as potentiometer oddity degradation effect. Yes, very forehead indeed. It's very forehead. And here's the thing, I fixed that. That's what I do. That's like one of the main things. Every controller that I make, I literally need to add that in there. So that's what I like to do. That's the electrical aspect of it. And we basically have things like UCF, which is Universal Controller Fix, and that's something. It's like a software that is put into Melee so that we can try to, you know, cope with all of these controller problems. But dude, it's like it
does half your work for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it just makes like so many more controllers viable. Like, dude, Jeff, it's messed up, bro. Like, okay, for those of you guys that don't know, if you guys are watching the stream right now, I've known Jeff for like a year and a half, like almost 2 years now. And
Shine 2016, I think the first time we met in person was Shine 2016.
I think it was 2018.
It was the first Shine, I believe.
It was are you sure about that?
It was the first Shine. We didn't talk much, but you fixed a controller for me. That was the first time we met, but like I didn't know much about you. I was just trying to get any random controller fix. But we actually had this this conversation at Shine 2018 when we met and started like being homies, because I had a brand new orange controller straight out the box, and I was like, hey, like this kind of feels weird. Can you help me with the dashback? And you explained this to me about the dashback and the dead zone and all that, and you told me about I had a different motherboard type.
Yeah.
And we had gone over that, so everything that you're telling me is lining up exactly with what it's how we met.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, dude. So when you came up to me at Shine 2018, I do remember that your controller was like, it was really bad. It was like really bad. So
and
then
you held it down off the bat too. You said, listen, I'll hold you down. Like, I'll give you a Type 3 motherboard. Don't worry about it. Like straight off the bat. Like, you did that for me. I didn't even tell you I was subbed yet. Like, I bought like, I don't want to, I dropped a bag on your controllers, and then I came back and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm subbed. And you were like, oh, what the fuck? Like, if I knew that, like, I would have taken hella money off. And I didn't want to be that guy just being like, oh, hey, I give you money in the internet sometimes. And we had this talk. But,
no, so here's the thing. Like, people that come into my stream that support me, I really want to be able to give it back to them. And it doesn't mean that like, oh, if you're not subbed, then it's like, okay, I'm not gonna try to give you the homie hookup or anything like that. It's like, look, most of the people that come to the booth, most of the people aren't like totally involved with like the whole Melee community and everything like that. So it's like, okay, so most people don't know who I am. Like, if you didn't know who I am, then it's like different. I don't know. It's like more of like a community sense. Like it's like if you've given back to me, if you've been like a couple months sub, you've been like a 6-month sub, then it's like you've been supporting me. You've been super loyal to the community. It's like, look, I'll give you this back, bro, because you've helped me. Yeah. I'll help you.
It's kind of a weird dynamic. Yeah, because like it's such like a tight knit community, and everybody knows everybody. So if you're not in the community, you kind of don't know who you are. But if you are in the community, you're kind of like a celebrity in some people's eyes. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So it's very hit or miss between some people. But you mentioned that you'd been doing this about 4 years' time. What were the early days of modding controllers like? What convinced you to crack open a controller for the first time and fiddle with the insides?
Okay, so like, this all goes back to around the beginning of 2016. This is when I kind of got into Smash and Melee. And basically,
were you a doc kid? I'm sorry. Before we get into this, were you a doc kid?
Oh, 100%. Easy.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Easy. Yeah. 100%, dude.
Okay.
Saw a documentary and I was instantly hooked. You know. And for those of you that don't know, I play Yoshi, and Yoshi is an extremely, he's a difficult technical character, and I was always obsessed with making things the best that they could possibly be. And I think that's a pretty good obsession to have, but it can kind of get out of hand. And as you can see, it's definitely got out of hand. If you were to see my desk right now, it's out of hand. It is ridiculous. It's chaotic. So what I did was I was just obsessed with trying to make the GameCube controller the best, because I used to play Street Fighter. That's where I found out my love for fighting games.
I have that down here too. We're gonna get to that in a little bit too.
Okay, yeah, sick. So like, basically, you play Street Fighter on a fight stick or a pad, okay?
Like the fight boxes.
I played. Yeah. I played on a fight stick, and everything's like set on the fight stick. You just buy a fight stick. There isn't much variance to it, and I mean, like, you can customize some things on there. You know, you can like get different brand of buttons that kind of have a softer or, you know, tactile press. And that's all user preference. It's like what they like. But then the stick itself is like usually manufactured the same way. Like there's no variance in it. But dog, like controller just had so many variants. Like there's so much variance in controllers. It's absurd. And my controller was, I don't know if any of you guys have seen like all the different types of GameCube controllers before, but there's this indigo and clear one. Nintendo released it super early on in the development of the GameCube. They usually release them like around 2003, 2004, and that was the one that I started with.
Is that a Type 1?
So yeah, it's a Type 1, bro.
Okay, that's a Type 1. That's how early it was.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So I'll talk about that so that you can get like a better understanding of all of that. But basically what happened was my brother had like the new one. There was like that's because Smash 4 came out and like they released those controllers with the Smash 4 with Smash 4 and everything like that. So my brother had like the newer one, and I remember feeling my brother's and I was like, dang dude, there's something totally different.
You can feel the difference. Yeah,
you can really feel like if you guys, everybody watching right now, if you were to have a Type 3 controller and a Type 1 controller, if you were to have one of the newer controllers and one of the older controllers, the difference is literally night and day. It's there. It doesn't take a genius to be like, okay, there might be something different, but I'm not sure. Like, no, it's like, yo, there's something definitely up with it. And basically it was at that moment, like when I tried mine and my brother's, I was like, yo, like there's something up here. I want to know more about it. And there was nothing documented on it. There was absolutely zero information on it. Besides this guy in Austria named Cardano. And I really think you guys, if you guys are interested in any of this, you guys should definitely follow Cardano. He's like a pioneer. He found out so much about controllers, and if it weren't for him, I don't think I would have gotten into this. And I give so much respect, and you can follow him at Cardano. He has like absurd like info. And the funny thing is that this guy even makes deodorant that lasts for weeks.
That's so funny.
So if you, dude, it's nuts. No, bro, Jeff, you have to try. Dude, next time we're at a tournament, I'll give you some because
you gonna give me some Cardano brand deodorant?
Bro,
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Try it. Do it.
No, I will for sure.
I have them with me at like every single tournament.
It's so funny that you say Cardano's name because the first time I ever heard of Cardano, I was watching the Big House 6, Abate versus S2J, and I was watching that stomp. You know the one where Abate didn't go anywhere. And I believe it was Vish just like, what just happened? Someone get Cardano on the line. And I was like, who's Cardano? So I started looking him up. And I found a treasure trove of random Melee information and frame data and stuff. And I'm just like, where is this guy learning all this? And he's just some super genius. He's so 5-head.
No, dude, he like reverse engineers Melee. Like,
he's
the
nuts.
The man's an absolute nut.
He's like in the same lane as like Practical Task and all them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like him and Practical Tasks are kind of like in the same like kind of field, you know. And for those of you that don't know Practical Tasks, he's basically like a pioneer as well of frame data, and all of the different mechanics in the game. And so yeah, that's basically how I kind of get into it because Cardano had some small documentation of it, but it like wasn't too extensive. And English was not his first language. I mean, the guy lives in like Austria, so he had a very thick like accent, you know. So it was very hard to understand him, and his videos were just like it's like a teacher in high school that is just outdated and they're just monotone, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep, man, I can't stand this history lecture. Like it was like that, but I was really interested in it, so I felt like I was able to learn it because I was interested in it. Right. But to the average person, they'd be like, bro, like, I'm turning this off.
You gotta have that fascination for it. You gotta already want to learn more about it. You gotta have that thirst for the knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, like, this is the early stages of me getting into this. I remember watching that, and I was like, I wish that I could learn more about this because I would want to release these types of videos or just have an audience of people to get excited and hype this up, because I think that this actually has so many real problems that nobody's wanting to acknowledge, and there's like no data or information about this stuff, and
it makes you like content thirsty.
You
just want more. You're like, what? How deep can we go with this? And it makes you want to dig further and further until you have all 100%. The answers.
100%.
That kind of transitions into the next question that I have. Getting into the Melee scene. As you were modding these controllers, who was the first big name player to give you the time of day and be like, okay, this kid has something. He's actually doing something for the scene right here. Was that Cardano, or was that someone else that kind of noticed your work?
So it's actually funny you say that. This is like one of my favorite stories to tell on stream because people usually ask me that. They're like, dude, like who was like your first person that gave you a chance?
Okay.
It was actually one of my best friends. It's West Balls.
Let's go West Balls.
Yeah, so Weston was like the first person that was like, yo, you want to like touch up my stuff? And I was like, yeah, dude, like let me try it. And I did it, and I gave him the controller, and he looks at me and goes, dude, I'm gonna be honest, this controller is so shit. And I was like, bro, what? And he was like, this is like the worst controller I've ever had. And I was like, dude, well, what do you think I need to change? And he's like, everything.
So funny.
Just,
That's
like,
so funny.
learn more, get better. Like, this is awful. And I was like, dude, honestly, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Because at that time, people were telling me my stuff was good, but he told me it was bad. So I was like, okay, well, that means I'll do all this stuff better, and I'll change this, I'll change that. You know, this person said that they really like this. This person said they didn't like this. Westball said that he didn't like all of it. So I'm just gonna try to get better at all of it. It made me like realize that I could never get content. Right?
He steered you in the right direction, yeah?
Right now, I'm the best in the world at making the controllers as good as they can be, right? So here's the thing. Although I'm the best at it, I still think that there's always areas that I can improve on. I never get inside my own head about it. I never think that I'm like the greatest of all time or anything like that.
Never be complacent.
It's not in my nature to do. I always believe that there's always more work to be done, and you should never be content about anything, even if you're number one, even if you're the best, because you being perfect is never obtainable. You always have something that you can do better.
World records are broken every day. Every day, world records are broken.
Even aside from this controller like stuff, like this is like applicable to every realm, you know, of life. So I believed, right, that I had to just improve everything. So 1 year later, I gave him another one, and he laughed when he used it, and he was like, "This is the greatest control I've ever had in my entire career."
So it took you a year to go from this is absolute shit.
He was the first customer. Then after that, it was Hugs. Hugs is very prominent in the Smash community. I know a lot of people know him. And
we have a good Hug story.
Basically, he had lost his controller at DreamHack, and he came over to my house literally when he came back. And he got a controller. We played some Melee, and he shouted me out on Twitter. And yeah, I didn't even have a Twitter at that point. And I was like, well, I gotta make a Twitter now, you know. So that's kind of like the start of it.
So it took you 1 year to go from this is shit to this is the best controller I've ever had.
Yo, Jeff, you there?
What the fuck? Can you not hear me?
I think Jeff might have got disconnected.
Are you there?
Let me see. One sec. Or wait. Guys, sorry. One sec.
Can you guys hear me? I've been talking. Oh, that's so weird. My man.
Yo, my bad, guys. My speaker actually just died.
Oh my god. Are you good? Oh, can you hear me?
There,
yeah, can you hear me?
There we go.
Cool.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
I meant to say, so it took you a year to go from this controller is shit to this is the best controller I've ever held?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you and you go ahead.
Here's the thing about it. That 1 year was a time period of like 2016 to the end of 2017, right? That was probably the hardest year of my entire life because in that year, I had dropped out of college. I had quit my restaurant job that I had worked at. It was a fine dining restaurant job. Beautiful restaurant. Beautiful. I had worked there for 4.5 years, and I had saved up $5,000. And I saved that up since I was 16 years old. And that $5,000 I used to buy a laptop to stream, a monitor, a mouse, a keyboard, a bunch of controllers, a soldering iron, and all the supplies that I needed to modify controllers. And I gave away everything for free because I didn't care about money. I figured that if I got good at the craft, and if I made a controllers, or a product that people would die for, then I would never have to worry about money. So I was just focused on the craftsmanship aspect of it. And what's funny is that in 2020, years after that, I still feel the same. And I just feel like I'm always focused on the craftsmanship aspect, and I don't have to worry about the other aspect because I feel like that's the most important part is the craftsmanship, and everything else will come after.
And that's why you give away controllers all the time, right?
That is why I do that.
You're constantly giving away controllers. I've never not seen a giveaway listed on your stream.
That's always what I like to do.
We actually have a funny Hugo story
Let's hear it.
from Shine. You
that one. Yes.
You were so mad at him because he was like fiddling with the controller and he was like, "All right, man, I'll be right back." And then he just like didn't come back to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, no. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was
You tell it.
So what happened was, 2 tournaments prior to Shine, he hit me up on Twitter and he was like, "Yo, Nez, I really need a new controller. I need my controller fixed. Can I talk to you about it?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm right here." And he didn't come the entire weekend. And then another tournament, it was like low tier city. He said the same thing, like, "Yo, I need a touch up on my controller." I was like, "Yo, I'll do it." And then he just didn't come. And then Shine, he tweets about like, "Yo, I really need a new controller. Mine's shit in the bed." And then I was like, "Yo, come to the booth." And then he finally came to the booth. And he's like, "Man, I've been needing one so bad." I'm like, "Bro, you could have got one months ago."
I watched you yell at him. It was so funny. He was like standing behind the booth playing.
It was so funny. It was so funny because here's the thing with Hugo. Hugo's like a very kind-spirited guy, right? Obviously, I didn't mean it wrong. I just thought it was super funny because I was just like, "Dude, like, what's your problem, bro? Like, you could have got one way earlier. Come on."
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have got one way earlier, homie. So it was just super funny. Then you were like right there after I like grilled out Hugs. Then me and you talked, and we kind of got our thing situated.
Dude, I kind of gave Hugs that look of like, sorry, like I don't know what to tell you, man, sorry. And he was like looking at me like, he's like digging into me.
That's all you, bro. Like,
after that, I went to some random setup, and I was just like sitting there like playing by myself or whatever, like waiting for someone to sit down next to me. Hugs comes up next to me, goes, "Hey man, you want to run some friendlies?" I was like, "Yeah, like, no problem." And then a TO comes and boots us off right before that. Like no right before we played, we got booted off by a TO.
You were like about to play Hugs.
Yeah, I was just about to like mess around with him. Yeah. But I think that was so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hugs in general, he was actually like one of the first customers too, and it's really really funny because he was the first person that actually paid me for a controller.
Okay.
Yeah, and he really wanted to pay me. I was like, "Dude, like, no, just take it." He was like, "No, like, what's your PayPal?" And I was like, "Dude, like, I'm fine about it." He was like very adamant about paying me, so I'm very like happy that Hugs was like one of the first people that like really paid me. And it's also cool because he was like a top player at that point. He was like top 30 in the world.
Now you don't have to give any numbers, but did he give you anything close to what you charge for controllers now? Is that what inspired your current like pricing list?
He gave me, it was a basic package.
Okay.
He gave me a Benjamin. He gave me 100 for it.
Okay.
And I would say for like a standard controller like that nowadays, I'd probably charge like 150 to 180.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. He definitely like for the time being, I was like, "Yo, heck yeah, like $100." Like
you're gassed up, right? After like giving away for free the whole time, yeah.
I was like, yeah. I was like, dude, nice. Like, let's go. I was happy about that, man. You know?
Stream wanted to know, on average, how many controllers do you usually have in your inventory? And like, without leaks and all that, like, do you have a consistent source for buying them? Because you're always getting in these packages with tons of controllers. Is it all from the same place?
It's all from the same place.
All from the same place. Okay.
I get them from the Yakuzas.
You don't got. Yeah, you don't got to leak anything, man.
But yeah, so actually I guess we could talk about that. I just placed an order for $8,000 worth of GameCube controllers, and it's all miscellaneous types of GameCube controllers, different colors, different models, everything of that nature. So basically what happens is that I have a guy in Japan, and I will pay him X amount, and what he will do is he will scavenge them over the course of a month or 2 or 3, and then he will ship them all out to me. And that is the best way financially to do it. It saves a lot. It's the best way to do it. And he doesn't even like charge me or anything because he's also in the Melee scene. And so, or he charges me like to buy the controllers, right? But he doesn't charge me for like the work or anything.
He doesn't charge you for the finder's fee? He just goes out and does it?
He just does it. But then obviously like I want to pay him, so I'll just throw in like a couple extra for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's just how I am. But he always is very adamant. He's like, "Yo, like don't do it. Like I want to help out Melee." Because he's like one of the bigger like TOs in Japan, and so he just like he's an absolute homie. and he's really helped me out a lot with my business, and I really like respect him and everything that he's done for Japan. If it weren't for him, Amsa, for the guys that don't know, like Amsa's a top 10 player.
Yeah.
And he's the only Japanese player in the top 100, and he's top 10, and he's top 10 with a character that was deemed unviable 4 or 5 years ago. The character was like ranked 16. Now the character is ranked top 8 for the most part. You know, like a lot of people will say like the character's top 8, top 9. So it's very, very cool to see a Japanese player like himself, you know, really come to stardom because of someone's initiative to start tournaments and throw these tournaments in Japan, because Japan is a dying scene for the most part in Melee. But I recently went to Japan as well, and they've really done a lot of work. It seemed very lively when I went there. So it was very exciting to see a scene that was deemed dead 3 years ago.
Love to see it.
Thriving in 2020. Yeah.
Revival of Melee, baby.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
Couple of the weebs in chat want to know what are some of your favorite anime? Can you give us a list of like your top 3 or what you have on your watch soon list?
Yeah. I'm definitely down. So basically, so here's the deal. I watched anime a lot about 4 years ago.
Okay.
My business and Twitch has completely consumed my life. I have literally no spare time.
Yeah, we know.
But I still, on my off days, will like to watch like a thing or two. So here's the thing. I always have to give tribute. A lot of people are gonna hate on this. I love Dragon Ball.
You love Dragon Ball.
I love Dragon Ball.
You're
like
always wearing something Dragon Ball.
I'm always wearing something Dragon Ball, dude, and I love it so much, dude. Like it was part of my childhood. I've rewatched Dragon Ball like 3 times. I've seen all the movies. I love Dragon Ball Z, like everything like that, right? So I love Dragon Ball. I also love this anime called Chihaya Furu.
Chill out, chat, chill out. I already showed him the jacket, the $2,000 jacket that I'm gonna plug right now.
Yeah, that one, dude.
Yeah,
that is so dope. Like,
I already showed him the jacket. We don't gotta talk about it. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Insane.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, dude, actually, like, I really want to see that jacket in person. Like, that is such a sick jacket.
I'll probably wear it to next Shine if August.
Never
mind. I'll die. I'll die. It's August.
Oh, it is gonna be August there, bro. You're gonna be sweating. Okay. So look, Chihaya Furu is amazing.
Okay.
I really like that anime. That's a really dope one. And then the other one that I really like is either Evangelion or I like Violet Evergarden, or it's Elfen Lied, whatever it is.
I've heard of Elfen Lied.
Yeah, Elfen Lied. That one's really sick. I watched all of that one.
Chat's making fun of you for saying Evangelion.
Yeah.
I think it's Evangelion, isn't it?
Evangelion.
Something like that.
I literally butchered all those names, but the thing is that my
he's just a
brother
fan,
told me to
people.
watch all of them. Yeah. So I watched all of those. Dude, is it Elfen Lied or is it Elfen Lied?
I have no idea.
Chat, do you guys know? What is it? First one is like Elfen Lied or Elfen Lied. I don't even know what it is, but you guys know of it. Like, it's a popular anime. But you've watched that, right? Yeah. So like, I really like that one. To be honest, those are probably my top 3.
Okay. On the other side of the spectrum, now I know that you're a sneakerhead. Not many people might know that you are from my end of the stream. I know you know what's fresh. Out of all of your interactions with the Melee Elites, which top player do you think has the most swagger and why?
You said top player, right?
Yeah, ranked player, top player. Anybody that someone getting into Melee would know.
Okay. I'd probably have to say Kalindi, KJH.
Okay.
I'd probably have to say KJH. I want to say Leffen sometimes, but sometimes it's just not like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But the style that aligns with me that I think is the most fresh is going to be Crush.
That's a good answer.
Crush,
That's a good answer. That's a Boston boy right there.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's my homie.
In order, I'd probably have to say KJH, Crush, and maybe even like Slox or Leffen. I like Slox's style.
I actually have a funny Leffen story.
Do you?
So my first time at Shine, I was like, I had my controller and I had my Sharpie and I was so excited to just get a signature. And I was like, Leffen's walking towards me and I'm like, oh my god, Leffen's gonna sign my controller. And I reach out and I'm like, hey Leffen, will you sign this? He doesn't even look at me, just shakes his hand and goes, no, I don't do signatures. And I was so starstruck and I was like, oh my god, I just got a genuine asshole Leffen experience. It was so great. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
And you want to know what's funny is that like you were honored.
Yeah, I loved it.
You're like, yeah. You're just like, dude, he was an asshole to me.
2 shines later, the one that I met you at, I'm in the bathroom waiting for the urinal. Top 8's coming up. Leffen comes in front of the line, looks at me, goes, "Hey, can I cut you? I have to go to top 8." I'm like, "Yeah, man, sure." And like he's still waiting for the urinal. He's just like sitting there, just like twiddling his thumbs, or whatever. And I'm looking at his shoes, and he's wearing Common Projects, these leather high-end sneakers.
He's wearing Common Projects. Damn.
Yeah, and I'm anything. I just want to talk to Leffen, so I'm like, "Hey, I see your Common Projects. Like, did it hurt to like break them in or whatever? They look uncomfy." Very much did not want to talk to me while waiting for the pisser. He was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, they hurt breaking them in." And I was like, "All right." It just very much does not like people.
No. So Leffen is like, just his entire persona and everything that's happened to him, it's kind of shaped him into being the person that he is. He really does not like people, bro. He'd rather be in his room, like all day.
Yeah. But you get what you get, That's exactly. Yeah. He just plays the part.
Yeah, so like I've had a couple experiences with Leffen. Obviously, like I go to a lot of tournaments. I've made controllers for him. I've done a lot of. I've done plenty of business with Leffen. He's cool when he is. If you got to catch him on the right day, the right time. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, he's actually a really nice guy. I just think that there's a lot of Leffen fanboys, and being in that situation, especially who he is, he's just like, yeah, like, let's just not worry about this. He just puts stuff. He's just like, let me just do my stuff and go home, That's just how he is.
Touching back on what you said about AMSA rising from the grind of the revival of Japan Melee. Now, you play Red Yoshi, and I know you probably get this question a lot. Did AMSA inspire you to play Yoshi or to play Red Yoshi?
So, yes and no. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, I would play Red Yoshi because red was always like my favorite color. And the thing was that when I started to like play again, I've always been inspired by people. Like I'm always inspired, like no matter what. And I think that inspiration is one of the key roots to being a successful person. Like if you look at all like a very successful people, they've always had at least like someone to inspire them. Kobe Bryant was inspired by like Michael Jordan, etc. And it's like AMSA was somebody that I really looked up to because he was from Japan and he basically made it work with a character that people thought wouldn't work. When I used to play Street Fighter, I used to really like Daigo because Daigo came from Japan, and Japan's like fighting game scene is very treasured. It's like godly. There's like an aura with all the Japanese players.
Daigo, yep.
Yeah. So I loved Daigo, and the thing was that there was like the only Japanese top player, and I was like, who does he play? He's like, oh, he plays Yoshi, and he plays Red Yoshi. Well, it's like, look, bro, I saw what this man's done. I saw how hype he created. I saw the atmosphere that he created with his play. I want to be able to do something similar to that, and that's where it started. So yes and no, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a little bit of both, 100%.
Good answer. I'll take that.
Yeah.
What's next here? What is the strangest thing someone's ever asked you to do to their controller?
Well, I mean, obviously, people have asked me like weird things. People have asked me to like kiss the controller to bless it.
Okay.
People have asked me to like, oh yeah, there's this one guy that said to glue a Pabst Blue Ribbon bottle cap on the front plate of it. So I glued like a Pabst Blue Ribbon bottle cap on it, on the top of the faceplate. And then obviously like some people asked me to like just like sign it. That's not that weird, but to be honest, dude, like not too many weird things have been asked to me about the controllers. Yeah, not too much.
Okay.
I mean, obviously there's memes that are like thrown around in chat, right? And
yeah, like that, notch my fight stick and stuff like that.
Yeah, like things like that. But to be honest, nothing like really, like no one's really ever come up to me and like asked me like anything pretty weird. Like,
that's good then, I guess.
Yeah,
you don't get a bunch of weirdos approaching you.
Yeah, but like people have definitely asked me to like bless their controller, to kiss it and stuff like that. I'm just like, bruh, really.
Now, besides Melee, can you rattle off a couple of your other favorite games for us? People who watch your stream are familiar with you play a lot of Street Fighter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you core centered around fighting games? Like, do you play Dragon Ball Fighters, or do you play other types of games?
Yeah, basically, I'm the type of guy where it's like I just like to play one game and go super, super hard with it and just be like extremely try hard.
Okay.
There are other games that I did used to play like a lot back in the day, like a couple years ago. I love like Left 4 Dead, bro. Have you ever played Left 4 Dead, Jeff?
I've never played Left 4 Dead. That was like more of an
Whoa.
Xbox game, and I never really got into it.
Yeah, it was Xbox.
You're not gonna call me out like this.
Bro, high key, we should try and play that one of these days, dog.
Super down. I have it. I own it.
You own it?
I own it. I just never played it. You ever just go on like a buying spree on Steam?
Okay, yeah, no.
I have thousands of games
like,
I've just never touched.
Yeah. Like, bro, I bought Portal, and I've never played it.
Portal's dope. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. See, we're on
all
the side.
right. We're okay.
Yeah.
Well, Portal was like a
Yeah.
PlayStation game. Were you an Xbox kid?
Yeah, exactly. So I bought it on the PC because I don't know, it was on sale, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to play another game on the stream.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Watching you try to solve the puzzle would be great. Good content.
Dude, I'm so down. I want to do that, but also Portal 2. I got Portal 2 actually, dude. So it's like there's like a co-op feature on there.
We should try to do that. You know, it'd be dope.
Yeah.
I did that a couple months ago with a friend of mine, and if you're not both not big brain, it's so funny. It's
Dude,
so
that's
funny.
That's what I'm saying. Because
I
you
think
have
it'd be
to
great.
think like so inside and outside the box.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm definitely down. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, dude, we'll figure that out.
But any
Yeah. So like Melee is like the main game that I play for the most part. Like I said, Left 4 Dead. Dude, what's crazy is that throughout like my life, it's mostly been fighting games. To be honest, Jeff, I wasn't really much of a gamer.
Okay.
When I grew up, and so like I was a boxer actually.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned that a lot in your stream.
Yeah, so I was a boxer for like 7.5 years.
You were beating up the gamers.
Yes, I was beating up the gamers, my guy. So basically what would happen was that I would just spend all of my day after school. I would just go straight to the gym, and even on the weekends I would go. So yeah, that's like what I did for the most part. And obviously, you know, I played zombies, I played Call of Duty and everything like that. I love Modern Warfare 2. It was dope. So that's basically what it was. I'm trying to think of like anything else that like I played. Obviously there's like some indie games that I used to play. Like there's a game called Limbo. There's a game like yeah, Limbo's dope. There's like Celeste. I want to play more Celeste, to be honest.
Celeste is tight.
Yeah.
People compare Celeste to Melee in terms of platformers. They saying that's very technical.
Yeah. It's really technical. It's like cool, and speedruns of that game are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically, for the most part, am very, very centered around fighting games. And when I picked up Melee in 2015, I dedicated basically every single day to play Melee. I never take days off. I've never really taken a break since 2015. It's just been every single day, at least like 4 or 5 hours every single day.
Yeah, that kind of brings us to our next question. You're, in the nicest way, you're like just like natural crackhead. Where do you get all this energy from? You're always streaming 10, 11, 12 or more hour days. I'm not even conscious for that long some days. I don't understand how you're able to entertain and talk and work for so long every single day consistently. I think the only time you've ever taken a day off is when you went to Japan recently.
Yeah.
Can you explain what is wrong with you?
Okay, I guess we could talk about that. Yeah, I get this a lot, you know. Every single stream that I do is a 10-hour stream minimum.
Okay.
If I don't do a 10-hour stream, I feel like I'm underachieving, and I do not want to do that. If I do a 10-hour stream, I feel fine. I feel good. I feel happy with what I did in the day. The thing is that not trying to get too personal or too deep about it, but like I have a lot of goals that I want to reach in my life, and
absolutely.
I believe that the way to get there is through hard work, and I am in a very interesting position. I'm in a very interesting situation, and I think that I am going to have to grind this way to get to where I want to get, and I think that there's no shortcuts to it, and I'm extremely motivated, and that's like natural. I've always been a very motivated kid, and most of the way I think and the mentality that I have, this is where everything's going to tie together.
Yeah.
For me, it's for me being a boxer.
Okay. You think it's the
like
boxer mindset?
Exactly. It's the fighter mentality. And I would work out. The thing was with me at the gym was that I was very privileged growing up. My family was very wealthy. I lived on a beautiful 5-acre house. It was just absolutely stunning. I had an amazing childhood. But everybody at my gym, I boxed in Oxnard, California. For those of you that don't know anything about Southern California, specifically Oxnard, California, it's very ghetto. It's very ghetto.
That's where one of my favorite artists is from, Anderson .Paak. I think we've talked about this before.
Oh wait, he's from Oxnard?
Yeah, Anderson .Paak is from Oxnard. He has an album called Oxnard.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. That actually makes sense. That's crazy. Yeah. No, dude, I love Pac so fucking much, dude. Pac is so tight. Yeah. So like, Oxnard is very ghetto. There's obviously nicer parts of it. But where I boxed, imagine like a boxing gym in like Oxnard. Like it basically is what keeps kids off the streets, because there's a lot of crime and street crime in Oxnard, and that's what kids would do to pass the time. Because if there's nothing to do, then you resort to the street life, and that's where drugs and gangs start to form. So that was the basically like the safe haven for all the kids growing up in the inner city, to try to get away from all of the crime and all the drugs and everything like that. So
that's a good outlet too.
Exactly.
It's a good thing to invest yourself in.
So when I was there, a lot of kids would always mess with me. They'd always tease me and say that like I wasn't good. The only reason I would do good was because my dad would pay for extra training. I had a strength conditioning coach when I was like 9, 10, 11 years old. And we would like work out my meals, we'd work out my conditioning, and we would do like plyometrics, weightlifting, etc. So we could work on different aspects of my body for speed, for power, for endurance, etc. And what happened was, I was an amateur boxer. I won 16 of my fights, and I never lost before I stopped.
There we go. Flex.
Every single time that I would win, every single time that I would spar, every single time that I would do anything remotely positive, it would always be knocked down, because people would just be like, oh, well, that's not you. That's your dad paying for it, because your dad's rich, because your dad has money. That's like just because you aren't actually, you don't have what we have, and what we have is like poverty, and we're doing it from like our heart. You're doing it for your dad, and that always just really like angered me.
But you were there putting in the time, right? You were there putting in the time. You were grinding. You were doing everything they were doing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So what happened was, everybody would always talk like a lot of smack and everything, but I was the first person in and the last person out every single day, because I wanted to prove them wrong.
Kobe mentality.
Exactly. I was obsessed. And I wanted to prove everyone wrong. And when I would win, they would laugh and try to knock it down. And I said, well, what are you going to do when I'm going to win again? And they wouldn't have anything to say. And I would win again, and they would not have anything to say. And I remember there was this kid named Oscar. And when I first started, he would always tease me. He would beat me up in sparring. And he would always be faster than me, stronger than me. He hit harder. But as soon as I like kind of came into my body when I was like 11, 12 years old, he used to make fun of me for the way I would like, throw my jab and everything like that. So I would just work on my jab. And I remember one time we sparred, and he liked this one girl that was at our gym, and I liked her too, but he got with her first. And he would like rub it in my face and everything. And I was like, dude, like, there's no reason to do that. Like, just do what you want to do. Like, there's no reason to like make me feel bad like that. And he would just laugh at it and everything. And then I had talked to her about it, and she was just like, yo, I really don't like him. He's like really egotistical. Like, he's got a chip on his shoulder type thing, and I was like, yeah, like whatever, and then I told him like, look, she didn't even like you, bro. Like,
let him know.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like you literally just have a chip on your shoulder.
Okay,
like,
talk to
I
him.
hope you know. Yeah, I was like, I hope you know, like for the past like couple months, I've been working way harder than you would ever imagine. I've noticed you skip days, and I haven't skipped any days. And then he was like, I'll see you in the ring on Monday. And we sparred on Monday, and I completely fucked him up.
You wiped him.
I wiped him. And after that, he never came back to the gym. He was so embarrassed. I never saw him
Let's
again.
go. Absolutely rolled. You studied, you practiced in the hyperbolic time chamber, and you just came out on top.
Exactly. And I think like a story like that, or just like an experience like that, is really what kind of shaped me to have the mentality that I have, because I just wanted to prove people wrong, because there's always going to be people that are going to knock you. They're going to like try to like always talk smack about you, try to always pour negativity onto what you're doing. But you have to be the one, not because of anyone else. That's the mistake that a lot of people do. It has to be from yourself. You have to like want it for you, not because your mom wants it, not because your brother, your sister,
Your heart's gonna be in it. Yeah.
Exactly, your heart's to be in it. And I realized that I was passionate about it, even aside from this guy. But this just insinuated me to want to try that much harder.
It fueled the fire inside you. Yeah.
Fueled the fire, exactly.
Yeah.
And I realized right there and then that I had what we call work ethic, and I could do what I put my mind to. I just had to like really put the work in. And when I was like 12 years old, I realized that expectations or confidence means absolutely nothing if you don't have hard work to back it up. You can be confident in your abilities, and you can say that you're going to do this, say that you're going to do that, but it actually means nothing without your actions. And that
you
was
still gotta put the time in. Yeah,
put the time in. Yeah, and I think people forget about that. So that's kind of where I came into, wanting to just do the best that I could. And you do things with passion or with none at all, So that's where it stemmed from. Yeah, I do work a lot, and I put in a lot of hours. And yeah, I mean, fuck, dude, there's a lot that I want to say right now.
Yeah, listen, the floor is yours. I'm here for as long as you're done. But what I really wanted to touch on is that you can really see the parallels between the boxing and the streaming, because you said you were the first one there and you were the last one gone. I've gone days where I've streamed 12 hours. You were live before me and you were live after me. Okay, that directly translates from the amount of work and time that you were putting into the gym and to the boxing as you are doing to these controllers and to the Melee community.
100%. 150%.
So you can see where it all ties together at the end. It just comes down to how bad you want it, how far you're willing to go for it, and what you're willing to do to get there.
Exactly. And yeah, man, that was like my life. I did that for 7.5 years.
Okay.
And when I was 14, a bunch of stuff happened in my life, so like everything just like changed. I was very wealthy, but all of that changed. I'm
sorry, chat keeps telling me that we need to box at Shine.
Wait, we need a box at Shine?
I'm not boxing him at Shine.
Yeah, my guy.
I'm not boxing this man at Shine. I'm like 5'6.5".
I love this man too much.
I'm sorry, continue.
So, yeah, like when I was 14, a lot of things changed in my life, and I realized that I needed to like really step up to the plate. When I was 14, my mom basically raised me as a single mom. My dad, unfortunately, he was in my corner for my entire life, in my corner when I was a boxer. Smartest man I ever knew, fortunately gone too soon. So that happened when I was 14, and I really had to step up to the plate. A bunch of things happened. Moved from that big house to a small 2-bedroom apartment, and I had 3 brothers. There was like 4 of us, and we all lived there, and it was a very, very hard time in my life. I didn't have anyone. I didn't know what was going to happen. I started working when I was 14, and that's where everything like started to change. So I've been working every single day for the most part since I was 14 years old. And that's because I knew that I had to do it. I had to help my mom, I had to help my brothers, I had to help myself, because I stopped getting that $100 that my dad would give me to go to the mall to hang out with my friends. I stopped getting that money to just buy my food. I had to actually work for that, and that was where I learned the value of $1. And I was very spoiled growing up, and I'm not afraid to admit that. So I realized that if you want something, you got to work for it. And somewhere around the time in like 2013, the Thunder 4s came out. Jeff.
Oh, I remember. I almost had a pair. I remember that.
Jeff.
The Lightnings, though.
Dude,
I like the Lightnings more.
2000.
I know. Anytime I go to a sneaker convention, I see them, and I'm just.
You're just like, no. I got you.
The Thunder 4s.
So yeah, like the Thunder 4s, like I just wanted them so bad, and I knew I had to work for them. So I worked for them, and I got them, and it was the greatest feeling in the world. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe let's see what I can do with the next pair, right? And then there was the Great 5s that came out, and then the Aqua 5s that came out kind of around the same year.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had them, whatever.
Yeah. I flipped both of those sneakers.
Yeah.
So I bought them for about 180 retail, and I had sold them for about 280, 290. And with that money that I had, I just kept on flipping Jordans over and over and over again.
So you've said on stream that you've been in the shoe game for a while now.
Yeah, I've been in the shoe game since I was about 5 years old.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
I believe your dad got you was it the Bread 11s?
It was the black cement threes.
Black cement threes. Okay.
Black cement threes. Yeah. When I was like a very little kid.
Okay.
It was like the black cement threes and the metallic fives.
So you're no stranger to the shoe game. So once you started making some money, you were able to invest in your own hobbies, and you started flipping that and started making money from that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, like this is also kind of cool. My dad, when he was like 15, 16 years old, he was wearing the Air Jordan 1 Chicago's.
You love those Chicago's.
Yeah.
You love those
So
Chicago's.
he got them in like 1985, and when they were first released, and my dad lived in Detroit, Michigan, and that's rated as the #1 most dangerous city in the entirety of the United States. I'm sure right now it's probably Minneapolis, bro, but like for a long time it was Detroit, Michigan. And my dad was like 15, 16. He was actually jumped by 3 men for the sneakers, and they beat him up. They gave him a black eye, and my dad tried his hardest to defend himself, and he like fucked up like one other guy, but there were 2 other guys that were like really on his ass, and they stole his sneakers, right? And my dad basically was like, look, I'm gonna get the fuck out of this place so that I can never have to worry about anything like this happening again. Like, I'm gonna become so successful. And that's what happened. And he said basically that when he became successful, he wanted to like spoil his kids with shoes, because he never even like had that. Like, he had to work for it, right?
And even when he did, it was taken away from him.
It was taken away from him. So he wanted to like give that to his kids. And my little brother was not into it. My older brother was not into it, but I was always into it.
You were very
and
into
my dad
it, yeah.
spoiled me with so many shoes, and he told me like, you know, I want you to have what I didn't have. And my dad,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad from that day forward was just wearing Converse, you know, because he never wanted that to happen. So that's what happened, and that's why I kind of got into it, because of my dad.
And that kind of shows where the grind comes from, also, that you inherited that grind gene from him.
100%.
Because I've heard you say it before. You kind of want to do the same thing for your family somewhere down the line. You want to make sure that they always have anything that you didn't have, and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's really how it is. And I learned a lot from it. You know, learned a lot from just the people that were there, like my dad and everyone. You know, so that was always just like a very kind of a big way in when I was young, that kind of formed me to be the type of person that I was today. You know,
molded you
all
young.
Those are very significant events that happened. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we've covered your roots and the basis of what you do, whatnot, but what is the next step for Nez Mod God and Top Notch Controllers? Are we thinking like a warehouse, a studio, perhaps, a team?
Yeah. So here's the thing. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm a one-man army. Everything that I do it myself. I get some help, and I get help from people that are making other things that I put on my controllers, but I'm the one that's putting them on, right? I have been doing this for about 1.5 years, and I had help, but it did not work out. I've worked with 3 people in my business. One stole thousands of dollars. One was just a very interesting kind of spiritualist person, and would come with me to booths and just scare people away, because he was a massage therapist, but he got fired for just a bunch of other stuff. It was weird. I needed help, and I knew I needed help, and I was no stranger to ask for help, right? I knew that I needed it.
Takes a village, yeah.
Exactly, but it was just a very weird dynamic. And then the other person I worked with, which is extremely unmotivated, and then lied to me about living with like one of his friends. He was actually homeless as well. He was homeless, and he lived in his car, but lied to me about it. And we had signed like a partnership agreement and everything like that.
Yep.
And it was just a completely awful dynamic. And safe to say that most of the people that I've worked with it's been just a terrible business relationship. None of them align with like the views that I have. None of them have ever really wanted to like push the business. They just want a quick penny.
Yeah.
And I've never found anyone that's actually been willing to learn what I have to show them without putting their own like information that they thought was right in front of what I have to say.
Yeah.
And it's been very hard to find people. It's been very hard to scout. I am looking for help, and I really have been wanting to get help for this business. My plan right now is to move out of NorCal and go back to Southern California.
You said today that you're planning a move back, yeah?
Yes, I am planning a move back. I did live in SoCal my entire life. I recently moved to NorCal about 9 months ago. It's been an absolute train wreck since I've moved here. For those of you that don't know, NorCal is very infamous for cars being broken into, theft, etc. And since we've lived here, our car doors have been smashed about 3 times. On one car, it's happened twice. One car, it happened 1 time. Tires have been slashed. People have stolen our exhaust. It's just been awful. It's been absolutely terrifying.
Even recently,
Right. Recently,
you had an
like
incident, right?
3 weeks ago.
I remember that.
It happened. Yeah.
But
and,
I believe today, when I was lurking, I heard you say something about you took some security measures recently. You have some alarms now.
Yeah.
Some
So
cameras.
we have some alarms. We have some like cameras and everything, motion censored. If anything goes off, we get a notification. So it's actually set up to be pretty good if anything happens again. If anything happens, we got them on camera and we know exactly what to do. We have like a couple so that if they're like in a car or anything, we can catch a license plate if they're driving by.
Good.
And if they're kind of, we have like 3 of them set up in specific angles to kind of catch them if anything does happen.
Cool.
But it's just like, dude, like it's just whack to even set that up. You know what I'm saying?
I know
It's like,
it feels like
bro.
you feel like you should be like at one with your community, with your neighborhood, and when it feels
dude.
like they're against you, the people living like even relatively around you, it could be them. That's a terrifying thought, man.
It's a terrifying thought, man. It's just, it makes me really, really sad because like I live with my mom still, and I really help out with like my mom and the house and everything like that. And I really just want to give a good life to my mom. I really want to give a good life to her because she really helped me out in a time when like I didn't have anyone else. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is what I realized, bro. Like there's so many people. Like how old are you again, Jeff?
I'm 24. I'm gonna be 25 in
24.
December. I have the same birthday as
Okay.
West Balls. I think we talked about this recently.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. So like, I think that a lot of people, they like when they graduate high school, most of the time the parents just want to kick them out. They usually don't have a good relationship with their parents or anything like
Yep.
that. And they're just kind of like have like a punk ass mentality.
Yeah, like
and
I
then they
gotta
just,
get
like,
out of
go
here, blah blah blah.
fuck
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mom,
yeah.
fuck my dad, fuck my parents, you know, kind of like rebellious. I actually happen to have a very good relationship with my mom, and I think I'm actually like, there's a stigma about living with your parents. I think that if you live with your parents and you have a good relationship with your parents, it's actually like very good. You're privileged. And I think that you need to cherish that because there's nothing like a mom, there's nothing like a dad. And if you have a mom and you have a dad and you have a good relationship with them, I really take off my hat to you guys. That's something beautiful right there. You guys need to cherish that. And it's like, look, that can be taken away at any second. And I know right now that like I want to be able to give my mom the best life possible because she's done a lot for me and we have a great relationship and we can communicate. And that's kind of how I feel. I just want to be able to give that back to my mom because I think one of the best things that I could do in my life is just give my mom a better life for what she did. She raised me very well.
That's the
And
goal. Once you hit a certain age, your entire mentality is just like, what can I do to give back? What can I do to get a bag to give back to my parents or any single parent that you might have until they're gone? You want to improve the rest of their life.
That's what it is.
Because they kick-started yours, you know?
Exactly.
I'm the same way, yeah.
So that's like really how I feel. I am gonna be moving back to SoCal hopefully by next year. And you know, dude, like my Twitch is doing very, very well. My business is doing very, very well. So if you know, we keep on getting the support that we get, you know, we keep on getting the love, you know, things are looking very, very good for not only myself, but for top-notch controllers, the Melee community, and everybody else that's intertwined to this amazing community that we shaped over the course of these 3 years. I'm humbled by it. I'm extremely grateful for everybody that's donated, that's subbed, that's gifted. It's an awesome community, and I want to be able to give back as much as I possibly can because I understand that without the community, I would not have anything that I have right now. So I owe it all. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, without the people who support us, we're nothing. So you got to give back as much as you can, man. It's a group effort.
And people forget about that. People forget about that, you know? And I don't want to have that get to my head. Like I said, I could have 1 million subs and I could have 1 million viewers. I still would try to think the way that I think right now. And I would still understand that, like, without the people, this would not happen, you know? So that's how I feel. That's really how I feel. I try to stay true to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on the same page. I'm the same way, man.
Exactly.
I think we're just about wrapping up here. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me on Late Night with Joob. I had an absolute blast. I hope you did as well.
Dude, honestly, Jeff, okay, to close this up, I gotta say, man, for those of you guys that are watching Jeff's stream right now, continue to support this guy. You know, me and Jeff have been talking for a couple years now. I really enjoy this guy's presence. I think he's an absolute homie. It's in his name, guys. Come on. It's in his name. You know, follow him, subscribe to him. This guy has a lot of potential. I know he's trying to put in the work, and he's always thinking of ways to put out content for you guys. And that right there is a genuine person and a genuine content creator. And those are the people that you want to support. You know, I've bumped into so many people throughout the 3 years that I've been here on Twitch, and they haven't shared the same genuine emotion that Jeff shares for his community. So I really think this. Yeah, dude, I really think that you guys have like a very, very good person right here. So please continue to support him. Continue to stream, Jeff. I think you have a lot of potential, and I'm really happy that you do this. I want to see you do this with more people, and I'm just honestly just stoked for you, man. Just keep being you, Jeff. Honestly, I fucking love you, bro.
Thank you, brother. I love you right back. I gotta end this before I get too emotional. One more time, do you want to tell the people where they can find you at home for anybody who joined a little halfway through?
Yeah, dude. If you guys want to, you know, check out anything that I am related to, check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/NezModGod, and it is in a 3 for the E, so it's N3Z ModGod, Nez ModGod.
Can one of the mods put that in chat, please? Thank you, Evan.
Yeah. See, yo,
can you go to chat? Yeah, I got a bunch of my.
Oh,
I got my mods doing it. Yeah.
Amazing. We got some people to do it.
Thank you again. Thank you everything you do for me as well as the community. Can't wait to support you for years to come, man.
Bro, of course, dog. Dude, and Jeff, let's try to do like a fucking stream or something soon, dude. Like, do
so
like
down.
Dude,
super down.
I'll message you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Now, I am going to now premiere the Joob Jam 3 promo video. Nez, I would like you to see it. So if you want to take a second, you want to pull me up, I can cut to that.
Wait, Jeff.
Yeah.
Should we? Okay. So here's what can happen. All right. Okay. So we're gonna watch this right now. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to watch this for weeks, dude. You're so annoying. You've been hyping it up.
So hyped up. Like, it's worth it.
Just show me.
It's so worth it.
Okay. So look, after you show this, can you put the camera? I'll enable my camera on Discord. Do you want to show the prize after? Oh,
I'd love that. Oh, I would love that.
Okay.
I might be a little scuffed because I'll have to do it on the fly, but I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
What else was I gonna say? I don't know if you have me pulled up. This picture of you right here, I got off Google, and I had to Photoshop this. Your arm is like around someone else. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, dude, I remember that. You're a Photoshop god.
I think my initial, like, what you like were watching my stream one time, and my initial thought was like, how do I get his attention? Like, how do I show him that, like, how do I stand out? And I just took this picture of you, and I kind of like broke your arm, and it's the same arm I just put over, and you were like, how did you do that?
Dude, that looks really good.
I love it.
That looks really good, dude.
All right, I'm gonna deafen, or I'm gonna leave the call, and then I'll call you back after, because I don't want anything. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Joob Jam 3 promo. Oh, I fucked it. Hold on.
I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3,